hurricanes back to back with my own pets and 48 other pets that were under my care right here at Sugar Mill Veterinary Center. In 2017, the U.S. Virgin Islands experienced both Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Maria within 2 weeks of each other. Here on St. Croix, we were spared the wrath of Hurricane Irma. However, St. Thomas and St. John experienced Category 5 strength winds and beyond. Both islands were devastated. Our community took extra steps to supply both of our sister islands with medications, with generators to create power, with food supplies and the like, not knowing that a mere 2 weeks later, our own home island of St. Croix would experience the same devastation with Hurricane Maria.
Right now, a Category 5 storm makes its way toward the Virgin Islands. Tonight, 125 to 150 mile-per-hour winds, 7 to 11 foot waves, 10 to 15 inches of rain or more. Then
24 hours prior to Hurricane Maria hovering over St. Croix as a Category 5 hurricane, I finished up my workday at Sugar Mill Veterinary Center and went home. I stopped at the grocery store on the way to pick up some supplies, extra food, water, and the like for myself and my pets. The stores were packed, people were preparing, and yet we didn't yet know how serious this storm was going to become literally overnight. In the wee hours of the morning, because trust me, I was up all night that night, taking phone calls from friends and family that were watching the radar and getting quite concerned about the seriousness of the strength of the storm. I made the decision to pack up my own pets, my 3 elderly dogs at the time, my 4 cats, a supply of food and water for myself and for them, and to drive into Sugar Mill Veterinary Center and ride out the storm at my veterinary hospital and boarding facility with my own pets and 48 other pets that were under my care, including 2 goats. The governor of our territory had declared a state of emergency with an impending disaster potential and also a curfew, which prevented people from traveling on the roads between certain hours that morning. So I had a few hours to get myself together, board up my own home, and drive into the clinic with my pets. When I arrived at Sugar Mill, my morning team, my office manager, and some of my veterinary assistants and kennel technicians were already finishing up with the feeding and the last-minute preparations to secure both the hospital and our boarding facility for the impending storm. They thought I was absolutely crazy to even consider riding out a storm of such intensity by myself at Sugar Mill. I reminded them that I wouldn't be by myself. We had 48 animals that were under our care, as well as our 2 resident goats, Noodles and Clementina, and my crew, my 4-legged family members. I knew that in the aftermath of a big storm, it might be impossible for any one of them to actually make it into the office, into the vet center to care for the animals. So if anyone was going to be here with them during such a big storm, it had to be me. I really had no idea what to expect. I had made basic preparations in a short period of time and made a split-second decision to take on a huge responsibility. At the same time, I had faith that I was supposed to be right here at Sugar Mill with all of the animals, and I knew that somehow we would get through it and everything would work out okay. I spent the night, the long, noisy night, in one of my exam rooms with my 3 dogs on the floor, watching Netflix as best as I could on my Kindle until we lost internet connection, lost phone connection, and lost power. At Sugar Mill, we are blessed with a generator that usually works. However, it decided not to work during a Category 5 hurricane and in the weeks thereafter. The animals, for the most part, stayed quiet, though during the height of the storm, when I believe Maria was literally on top of Sugar Mill Veterinary Center, some of them were making sounds, crying, barking, and our goats were actually talking as well. I would intermittently leave my safe space with a flashlight and check on everybody. We were very fortunate that our roof stayed on and that we didn't have severe damages. We rode out the storm safely. And the next day, once the winds and the rain had subsided, I was able to properly assess what damages, if any, we had sustained to the building and to go outside. I honestly had been afraid to look outside during the storm. So when I first opened the doors and walked out to our entranceway, I really couldn't believe my eyes. Every tree on the property had fallen down. The driveway was completely blocked, and thankfully, my vehicle had not been crushed. Our beautiful green island had turned brown overnight. There was not a leaf on a tree. There was not a blade of grass on the ground. I later learned that this is because the salt spray was so severe that it actually burned the vegetation on the island. It looked like there had been a forest fire everywhere. The island had lost power. The island had lost internet and phone connection. And without those things, it was almost impossible, well, it was impossible to contact anyone, to let people know that I was okay, to let people know that their pets who were boarding or in the hospital here at Sugar Mill were okay, and to communicate if I had needed any assistance. Within about a week's time, I had 2 staff members at the time who walked their way, even during curfew hours, to Sugar Mill to start helping me with the work that I had been doing by myself for the past week, caring for, cleaning, feeding, etc., all of the animals that were here under our care. I was really grateful that my team and I had made the preparations that we did. We lost our power here. Our generator failed, and without power, our water pump also failed. Many island residents rely on a cistern under their building to collect water. My team had thought ahead, many of them having lived in the islands longer than I had, and filled up gallon drums with water from our cistern, covering it to keep it safe from bacteria, mosquitoes, and the like. And I was able to water the animals with that water and to bathe myself and bathe the animals as needed to clean until we were able to get the generator going and our electricity running again. I was also really grateful that we had stocked up on food and supplies for the animals, as well as medications that I needed in the months following the hurricane, when supplies were very hard to come by. Here on St. Croix, the entire island was without power for close to 5 months. We were without phone signals or reliable cellular service for most of that time as well. And that experience is something that I will never, ever forget. The experience of riding out a Category 5 hurricane changed my life. And I will never again take hurricane preparedness lightly. It's very important to think ahead for both you and your pets, and to consider that you may be in a similar situation at some point in your lifetime. Hurricanes can gain and change strength within a matter of hours, so it's never to be taken lightly. So please prepare. It's storm season somewhere around the world all the time. Here in the Virgin Islands, we've been there, we've done that. We know preparedness for ourselves and our pets is very important. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, learned something, and stay safe. I'll see you next time.